let's have fun. Let's have a little fun. We're going to talk about our good friend of the show, Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
Now, I've hung out with Dave Chappelle a bunch of times. You've hung out with Dave Chappelle.
I've been around a bunch of times.
So
Comedy clubs, parties.
I've met Dave Chappelle a few times. South Beach. We've hung out. We've kicked it. Absolute gentleman. Now,
Gee.
you know, he's on the verge of getting canceled these days.
Oh, God.
Okay?
He's uncancelable.
Did you see what he did lately regarding his new special and what he said about the trans community? We'll play that clip in a second. So here's the deal. So Chappelle's under fire. You're a fan of Chappelle. You know, the way you talk kind of reminds me of Chappelle a little bit. He doesn't even talk like that anymore, but have you noticed? He smokes so many cigarettes.
His throat's fucked up from
Throat's all fucked. He smokes cigarettes. Stop smoking the cigarettes thing. But basically, Dave Chappelle's new special basically mocked trans people. These is jokes, y'all. These is jokes. So he gets on there, he gets on stage, he filmed his Christmas special just recently on New Year's, and he basically mocked the transgender community. So he tells this story. I'll kind of tee it up and then I'll let him finish it off. Malik, it starts at 1:58. So he tells this story and he said, listen, when I was growing up, I was the biggest Jim Carrey fan ever. Okay, he goes, I wanted to meet Jim Carrey. And, you know, so how people, Vinny has it. He goes, Jim Carrey just has it. You can't teach this.
Yeah.
There's
no college for it.
There's no Taylor Swift class. There's no class.
There's no Carrey.
There's
course.
no Carrey University.
Yeah.
Okay? He just has it because I was dying to meet him. Now, in this particular year, I think it was 1999, Jim Carrey was filming a movie called Man on the Moon. The REM had a song, If You Believe
We
There
put
Was
a
a
man
Man
on
on
the
the
moon.
Moon, I put a head on top of you. So he says his good buddy was the SNL host, Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald.
He says,
Rest in
"Oh,
peace.
you want to meet?
Hey,
You want to
hey.
meet?
Jim Carrey?
You want to meet Jim?
Yeah.
I'll let you meet Jim."
Yeah.
So he says he shows up on set to meet Jim Carrey, and he goes, "I was disappointed because Jim Carrey was playing an actor, playing a comedian
Andy
called
Kaufman.
Andy
Andy
Kaufman.
Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman would be like a modern day what?
Kramer. Like he's a
He's
character
just a goofy,
on the show.
wacky character dude.
Ethnic.
Okay.
Yeah, ethnic
Exactly.
guy with accent.
So he said, and Vinny, you know this, he's a method actor.
Oh yeah,
He said, once I got into character, I didn't break. He pretended and he lived as Andy Kaufman for a year.
Yeah, for a year, and then 3 months. And then there's a documentary called Man on the Moon where Jim Carrey, they documented he didn't break. People were like, hey, the director's like, can I talk to Jim?
Cut.
Yeah.
Excuse me? No,
Yeah, I
my
still
name
talk
is
like
Andy
that. Yeah,
Kaufman.
thank you very much.
Okay, so Dave Chappelle tells this story. He's like, I wanted to meet Jim Carrey, but I'm meeting Andy Kaufman. I was like, nice to meet you, Jim. He's like, it's Andy. He goes, okay, what's going on around here? So he's telling this story about basically Jim Carrey went full method actor, pretending to be
Somebody else.
Andy Kaufman. Okay? So he says, I was very disappointed. Now let's play this clip and you'll see what happens here. Turn it up.
I was very disappointed
Turn it up.
because I wanted to meet Jim Carrey and I had to pretend this nigga was Andy Kaufman all afternoon. And he was clearly Jim Carrey. I could look at him and I could see he was Jim Carrey. Anyway, I say all that to say, that's how trans people make me feel.
That is so funny. It's like I can see who you are,
Yeah.
but you're pretending to be somebody else.
Okay, so
Oh.
listen, last question for you guys. Get out your thumbs up and your thumbs down. Nobody's getting canceled. Answer honestly. He's basically saying, I know you're Jim Carrey, but you want me to pretend that you're Andy Kaufman. Sure, Andy. Okay, so Jim Carrey, Dave Chappelle is basically saying that as when a man, Dylan Mulvaney, let's say, or Leah Thomas, pretends they're a woman, he has to be like, sure, you're a woman. Gotcha. It's kind of actually a great joke.
Yeah.
So here's my question. Green or red? I want to hear it from the panel. Green, if he has a good point, has a good joke. Or red, if you think it's cruel. Go ahead. Green.
Don't let nobody do your thing or whatever you want.
Green.
Nika, do it.
Nika, red or green? It's
Guy,
fine.
I feel
You want to
you.
say
Negro,
red,
why
huh?
were you gonna put up red? Why were you gonna put
It's
up
okay
red?
if you put it
Tell me
She put
why.
them in.
Tell me why you think it's
Yeah.
cruel.
No, I didn't.
No, tell me. Just give me that argument.
Cause
Play-
I just
give me
didn't
the
know
other
what to
angle.
say. It was just kind of like, I didn't want to hurt nobody's feelings. I was being nice.
You're sweet. She's a sweetheart.
Okay,
So yeah,
that's fine.
yeah.
But here's the deal. Here's the problem with that. I think we kind of gotta be comfortable hurting people's feelings.
Yep.
I think we have to
It's the
say,
truth.
sorry, Dylan Mulvaney. Sorry, trans person. I get it. Live your life. You want to go by he, she, they, them, we, us, whatever you're going for. But you're not
thing is,
Andy Kaufman.
If I say what I
You're
really
Jim
have
Carrey.
to say,
Say
I'll
it.
get
Okay.
canceled.
No, you want? Who's gonna?
I feel
Nobody's
like-
gonna cancel.
Okay,
You can say whatever you want.
I agree with him because it's like if you have a penis, you're a man. If you have a vagina, you're a woman. Like I feel like sometimes they be having some type of, they call it doolulu mindset.
Delulu.
Like delusional. It's
Delulu-
a slave for
oh,
Delulu. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Delulu.
It's called
Thinking,
gender
like,
dysphoria,
Just
actually.
because they
But yeah.
put a wig on in a dress, they're already female. And it's like, no, you don't have female tendencies. You don't go through what we go through. Stop claiming that. But then when it's time to fight, it's kind of like, oh, like you put in a card or you do something, and it's like, come on now.
Yeah, and
y'all
I-
pull out the card when y'all want to and take it out when y'all want to.
Yeah,
It don't work like
and
that.
I think, and you know this
Yeah.
as being the funny people, being a comedian. Who said, was there a meeting that all of a sudden making fun of the trans and the gay community became taboo and
limits, right.
you're canceled and your
Yeah.
life is over? It's like, no, hey guys, you're not that special.
Yeah.
I make fun of, I'm Middle Eastern. I make fun of Middle Easterns, Black, Spanish, Puerto Ricans. We do
Yeah.
accents. Well, like, you're not any different. You're
Right.
not protected. I mean, they're trying to protect you. You ain't protected. I'm making fun of
It's not racist if you make fun of everybody.
including I've made fun of Middle Easterns where people are like, dude, you're being offensive. I'm like, bitch, I'm from there.
Yeah.
My family's from the Middle East. And it's like,
Right.
I think feelings have gotten way, way too protected on the whole spectrum. I'm sorry, in this day and age, like, you talked about that Swift class, Adam.
Yeah.
There needs to be a bullying and bullied a class where they're in there and they toughen your skin. And that whole safe space shit didn't start till Trump. When Trump beat Hillary Clinton, colleges shut down the next day and they brought ponies, emotional support ponies. So I'm dead. Google it. I'm dead serious. That started that trend. It's like, bro, nobody gives a shit about your feelings. Nobody cares. And they're not off limits. I'm sorry. I think that's a brilliant to come up with that type of joke. And like,
Yeah.
think about it. That's a new thing, a trans thing. That happened in 2000 what?
1999. He said.
1999,
Yeah.
26,
He was
5
waiting
years
25 years to tell
to
that
tell
joke.
that one
joke.
joke, and it helped them out. So I think you're feeling.
McQueen, I'll give you the last thoughts on this. Well, I mean, Dave Chappelle, you're a big fan of what's going on. You know what's going on in the trans community. How do you process all this?
I mean, I would probably say something very similar. So it's like, I don't disagree with anything. I feel like Dave is like the blueprint for me.
Yeah.
Because my voice is kind of similar. My humor is very similar. So it's like, I always thought he was very on point with how he.
I mean, he's
presents
brilliant.
jokes,
He's a legend. Anyone have any different opinions on this? Go ahead, say it now.
I think if you're like gonna speak for that side, I think where it can maybe be offensive is it for the people who do transition and their goal is to not look like that.
Yeah.
That's I think the audience that like feelings are hurt. It's like we don't want to be represented like that, you know. And a lot of people who are fully transitioned, they don't like to be in the same boat as the people who are wearing a wigs with a beard on. So I think if you're going to speak for the other side, I think those are maybe that community where they're like, they would even laugh at the joke because at the end of the day, they went to such extreme to make such changes so that they wouldn't be like somebody to be offended by that joke, if that makes sense.
Listen, here, anyone else have any final points
But
here?
I think it was.
Okay, here's where I'm at with this. So the definition of transphobic is a phobia is a fear of something. Nobody fears trans people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of question marks and be like, I don't get what's going on. But I do believe I'm a libertarian. I believe in America you can do whatever you want to do with a couple exceptions. Number one, leave the goddamn kids alone.
Please
Okay?
leave them alone.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a dinosaur when I grew up. I'm so glad that I didn't have stegosaurus things
Stabbed in your back.
brought into my back out there, okay? I'm so glad that I didn't cut off my arms and have little arms like this walking around these days. I'm so glad I didn't grow a tail. Hey, it's time to pay the bill. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. Number two, listen, dudes, lady dudes, she-males, Hershey's, you can't play sports with the girls. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's
Did you,
I'm
see,
sorry.
did you hear
That
that
locker
they're starting an MMA thing or a
Now they're
boxing
talking
thing?
about the USA
USA
boxing.
boxing
Yes.
is saying
Yeah.
now you can actually compete over 18. You could beat up women. Is
Yeah.
basically what it is. A biological male can beat the shit out of a woman only if you actually chop everything off and you wait 4 years so your testosterone drops. Which
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they're
Doesn't
still
matter.
gonna beat the shit
Yeah,
out of women.
I think it's going undefeated. Whoever
It's
that is.
unbelievable that they're doing that because that sets a role model.
Yeah.
Because you know, younger boys are like, I'm not that good at boxing. I'm gonna chop my balls and
Yeah.
crotch off and beat the shit out of Susan.
Malik, pull up South Park, Macho Man Randy Savage. Pull up that image.
That is sick.
But just you see there, like South Park does an amazing job on sort of using satire and humor to basically describe what's going on. But have you ever seen that that viral video where it's a dude dressed up as a woman, trans woman, and the guy's like, "Excuse me, sir, I can't have you." It's like, "It's male." Okay. I mean, that's essentially it right there. This guy beat the shit out of his
Delusional,
I swear to God, for the love of God, call me sir one more time. I'll break you in half. It's like, okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's like, and I'm not saying that all trans people are that. And I totally understand if you're 18 and you do what you got to do, if you don't feel comfortable with your own body, I get it. You can do what you want to do. Leave the kids alone. Dude, stop playing in sports. But stop expecting all of us
Yeah.
to think that you're Andy Kaufman
Yeah.
when you're really Jim Carrey.
And at least, and Adam,
Sorry.
you made a great point with the "it's ma'am," and I have to say this, and it is a race thing. When it comes to the trans movement,
Yeah.
people, the white trans guys that are becoming women are the laziest ones out of all the races because they go in, they just put on a dress and it's, ma'am, you go to Thailand, those ladies boys, they're going for it.
They go for it.
You'll go there and you'll wake up in the morning next to, and you're like, your friend's like, bro, you just banged the dude. And he's like, I didn't know.
Bro,
How did I
they
know?
go so hardcore. They take their penis, they fold it in
Fold
half, they
it.
cut a slit in it.
What?
Looks like a vagina.
And they go for
Boom,
it.
they untuck it the next day. At least they go for
And
it.
they change their voice. I mean, their hands look like mine, just like, you know, veins and masculine. But you know what? At least they're putting in the effort. It's ma'am, put on a wig and went to GameStop.
It's ma'am, bro.
Yeah. No, you
Okay.
have your balls are hanging
Anyway,
out of your skirt.
No
John.
disrespect. Do what you want to do. I'm a libertarian. Do no harm.
Yeah.
Just don't expect for all of us to be in on the joke.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sorry.
We're not laughing with you. Kind of laughing at you.
you.
I'm sorry. Whoa, whoa, whoa. If you like that one, click right here to watch the full SOSCAST. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.